Grace and peace be multiplied unto you. I welcome you to today's lesson on mathematics on the subtopic relations. Relations in mathematics always deal with rules. Relations show how something is connected to another. When we talk about relations, we are looking at how a quantity is connected to another quantity. Let's look at an example. If the time taken for a printer machine to print one sheet of paper is 2 seconds, how long will it take for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 sheets of papers? Okay, so you realize that when you look at the relationship between the number of sheets and the time in seconds, you realize that they relate with a rule. Let's look at how they relate to each other. So the number of sheets, which is represented by the variable n, goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And the rule for generating this is simply to add 1 to the previous number. So example, if you want to get the next number, all you have to do is add 1 to the previous number. So if the previous number was 1, you just add 1 to it and you get the next number, which will be 2. If the previous number was 2, you just add 1 to it, which will be to get the next number to be 3. If the previous number was 4, you just add 1 and then you get the next number to be 5. So the rule is simple, just to add 1 to the previous number. And time in seconds is represented by the letter T, and it goes like this: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. And you realize that this is just multiples of 2 times table. So this is a multiple of 2. So the rule is just a multiple of 2, or 2 times the number of sheets, which is n. The number of sheets is represented by the letter n. So 2 times the number of sheets is n. Let's look at it well in a tabular form. So here you realize that the number of sheets is denoted by the symbol n, the time taken denoted by the symbol 2n. So the rule for the time in seconds is 2n, and the number of sheets is just n. So let's look at how they relate to each other, how number of sheets relate to time in seconds. So if number of sheets is 1, you realize that 2 multiplies n, and number of sheets is 1, n is 1. So 2 multiplies 1, and what do we get? We get 2. If number of sheets is 2, 2 multiplies n, which is n is equal to 2, so 2 times 2 is 4. If number of sheets is 3, 2 multiplies 3 and we get 6. If number of sheets is 4, 2 multiplies 4 and we get 8. Because time taken in seconds is simply 2 times the number of sheets, and the number of sheets is n, so 2 times n. So if the number of sheets is 8, then our time in seconds goes with the rule 2n, so it's simply 2 times 8, which is 16. Okay, so the general rule for finding the time in seconds when you know the number of sheets is simply 2n, and meaning that number of sheets is related to time in seconds with the general rule of 2n. Let's move to another example. Now this is number of boxes and this is time in seconds. So let's take it that we have an example where we want to find the number of boxes, the time it takes for the number of boxes to be packed. So if we have one box, the rule is 2n plus 1, and number of boxes is n. So hence, if you have one box, which is meaning that n is equal to 1, then it means wherever there is n in this formula, you replace it with 1. So we have here 2 times 1 plus 1, and what do we have? The answer is 3. When the number of boxes is 2, we are going to have 2 times 2 plus 1, and we are going to have 5. When the number of boxes are 3, we are going to have 2 times 3 plus 1, and what do we have? 7. And the number of boxes are 4, we are going to have 2 times 4 plus 1, and what do we have? 9. Why? Because the general rule says that time in seconds is 2n plus 1. So when the number of boxes are 5, you're going to have 2 times, and number of boxes is n. So if n is equal to 5, 2 times 5 plus 1, and we'll be having what? 10. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 1, and the total, sorry, alright, so the total answer is just going to be, so let me take it again. When the number of boxes is 5, you're going to have, with the general rule to be 2n plus 1, we are going to have 2 times 5 plus 1, and the total is going to be 10 plus 1, which should give us 11. So for every quantity, you can find how related it is to the other when there is a general rule stated. So the general rule is usually given in an expression form, a mathematical form, and the examples we've seen earlier are 2n or 2n plus 1. So this relationship can come in any form. It could be 5n minus 1, and so on and so forth. So I have given some exercises on relations, and I hope this video would help you or guide you to be able to answer them. Until our next lesson, stay safe. Bye bye.